One Piece chapter 1121. It is titled The Upheaval of the Era. We got a beautiful cover page of the Straw Hats with Nami being the focus, and she's much bigger than the other members of the crew. I like this because we recently got a cover page with Robin, her being the focus when she was playing chess, and the crew, there were different pieces on the board, so I thought that this cover page, it was really cool. Typically when it comes to drawing these cover pages, Oda, he ends up showcasing a time lapse of his process behind and like the inspiration behind the cover page that dropped for that particular week. And looking at the time lapse, it was originally supposed to be a wholesome page of the Straw Hats eating, and then bam, Oda did a 180 and he included a sexy Nami, which I ain't complaining about, but I wonder what caused Oda to do this 180. The chapter starts off with Saturn attacking the giant ship, and as Luffy attempts to go in for a counterattack, he notices Bonney, and she is trying to transform back into her Gear 5th with her distorted future. She successfully does it, and I like this because this is Bonney's battle. This is her demon that she has to conquer, and I'll dive into it more later in this breakdown. Vegapunk once again talks about the ancient weapons and that they still exist, and the panel that he talks about this, it involves Shirahoshi, which isn't surprising as she's the ancient weapon Poseidon, but the panel also has both Vivi and different individuals and characters that we are introduced to in Skypiea as well. In my initial review, I wonder why Oda did this. At first I thought it was because Pluton was first mentioned and introduced in Alabasta, and that was the arc that Vivi was the most involved in. But then why would Skypiea have a panel about it too? Could it be that's where Uranus originated from? Because although we don't know exactly what Uranus is, Vegapunk confirmed that the destruction of Lelouch was caused by an ancient weapon. Pluton is still underneath Wano, and Shirahoshi is Poseidon, so that means only Uranus could have done it. Vegapunk also talks about the slaughter of different unique and rare races, and the ones that are highlighted through flashbacks or showcase that they're listening to the broadcast include Buccaneers, Lunarians, and the Three-Eyed Clan. We know the bare minimum of what these races, what they can do, and why they're so special, but we don't know exactly how they were important in the past and what caused them to be persecuted. Buccaneers have giant's blood and are tough with insane endurance. People speculate that Joy Boy was a Buccaneer, and that's why there's a giant straw hat under Mary Joanne. Lunarians have insane durability and speed. Honestly, when their flames are on, they're dang near invincible. They were originally on top of the red line and somehow got wiped out, and a lot of the community speculate that it was done by the Celestial Dragon. Lastly, the Three-Eyed Clan, once their third eye is awakened, it's rumored that they can read the poneglyphs, and this is why Blackbeard decided to kidnap Pudding and the reason why she's an important endgame. I love the fact that Oda in this scene showcased that everything is connected. This is probably my favorite part of the chapter because this is where Bonney basically conquered her demons. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this is something that she needs to do. Luffy's more so playing the support role, really backing Bonney up in this situation, and I love the panel of these two gearing up in order to punch Saturn, because an aspect of Luffy's character that I like and I think we need to highlight and appreciate a little bit more is his ability to read situation. I know that Luffy's an impulsive individual and he typically doesn't stick with the plan, but whenever it's someone else's battle, Luffy doesn't help until he's needed. Two examples of this include Dressrosa and Wano. In Dressrosa, Luffy could have easily stormed in and punched Doflamingo, but after all the pain and suffering that they went through, this was for Kuros and the Riku family. So Luffy, he didn't step in and fought Doflamingo until it was clear that Kuros couldn't win. Same with Wano, how Yamato was about to start the fight with Kaido, but Luffy stopped her, saying it wasn't them who was supposed to start this battle, it was the 9 samurai. They were the ones meant to start the battle because of everything that Kaido had put them through. Circling back to Bonney, we know that Saturn, he was the cause of all of it. I'm not going to go too into detail because you guys know the story, that he's the reason that Kuma had to suffer, why he had to become a warlord, why he had to become a slave, why Jenny was killed. All Bonney wanted to do was have a life where she wasn't alone, where she was with Kuma, where she was with Jenny, and all of them could have lived lived happily ever after. However, Saturn took that from her. And so her and Luffy, they combined to do a liberating Nika punch, and they sent Saturn flying. Now, is he dead? Nah, I mean, he's an endgame villain. I don't know what we expect, but is he done for this arc? Probably so. As Luffy mentioned, a part of their strategy was to send them flying because we know that the Gores say that they're immortal and they don't take damage, so that is their top priority. But if you guys have made it this far in the video and you guys are liking what you're seeing, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Vegapunk mentioned the importance of science and the effect it has on the world, and I love seeing Iceberg, the citizens of Weatheria, and also Judge and Caesar here because of how involved they are when it comes to science. And I know some of you guys are probably going to talk about, oh, Iceberg, he builds ships, like what does that to do with science? Well, when you really look at the process behind shipbuilding, it's really like engineering, and engineering has a lot of math and science involved, so you could dang near call Iceberg a scientist. But I really love this highlight because science will definitely play an important role for the end game in the final saga of this series, and I'm looking forward to seeing the different scientists that are involved, and maybe they'll create something that will surpass Vegapunk. Vegapunk also mentions that there are those who can't be oppressed, and they are the closest to the truth. And did Roger set this all in motion? I know my original thoughts of this line reminds me of, or potentially Vegapunk could be talking about conquerors, because if you look at the panel towards the end, spoiling it a little bit, there's a decent amount of conquerors on there, or at least those that we presume to have conquerors haki. The more that stuff is teased about the One Piece treasure, the more I'm leaning towards that it's nothing. And I'm not talking about in terms of like there's nothing in the chest or there was nothing left at Laughtale. I'm more so talking about there's nothing with monetary value or something like gold, silver, jewels, etc. I think it's going to be the catalyst or something that Joy Boy left behind in order to truly know the truth that happened and why Joy Boy fought. Well, him and the Ancient Kingdom fought against the world government, and that'll be the information that can be spread across the world. But I do firmly believe that the reason why Roger ushered the Great Pirate Era is to allow for the next Joy Boy to emerge. There are different Yonko crew that are either listening to the broadcast or somehow they were brought into the story, whether it was just talking about them or just showing what they're doing in this current moment. Vegapunk says that the fate of the world is decided by whoever finds the One Piece, and I think this was pretty self-explanatory, but I love the fact that this was mentioned because this will probably be the last time that the One Piece is mentioned this way. Roger, he started the story when he said his initial speech. Whitebeard in the halfway point talked about how the One Piece still exists, and now Vegapunk, he's talking about how and wrapping it all up that whoever finds it will be able to change the world. I really like the panel involving everyone that we see when they talked about the One Piece, because I firmly believe that these are going to be all the individuals that are involved in the final war, at least have some form of implications for the final saga. We see the Yonko, we see some members of the Holy Knight, we see revolutionaries, pirates, etc. People talk about Mihawk not being here, and I get it, they're trying to push an agenda, and some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty funny. But there's really no other members of crews here in other factions, I guess you could say, besides Sabo, Kobe, and Aokiji. But these three, they're going to play major roles in the final saga. I mean, we know what Sabo, what he has to do. He's already fought against the Gorosei and Imu, and then Aokiji, we still don't know what his true objective is. But there's a lot of people who were missing from this panel. I mean, for example, Zoro, like, he's really important. He's going to play a vital role in the end game of this series. So are we really like concerned that, you know, for him not being here? No, so I don't think we should do the same for Mihawk. There was also a mysterious swordsman that was on here. Some people have speculated that it's Shanks' brother. Some people have talked about it potentially being the man marked by flames, and that it could also be another individual, a part of the Holy Knights. I know in that panel, I assumed that these swordsmen there, they were talking about Figurling Garling, but they could potentially also be talking about another swordsman that wasn't there. It could be somebody that was at God Valley that Oda didn't introduce us to. Really, really good chapter. There is a break next week. It's unfortunate, but it's perfect for me. I will be going to Dreamcon, so that means I won't miss out on a new chapter, and I can do a review and do my reaction and do a breakdown like I typically would. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.